Smith on pit road. Lovely fall afternoon here in Southern Virginia. And I felt like we say that going into Talladega. All four of the drivers below the cut line have won here at Martinsville before.
Yeah, Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, they are not comfortable at all because, as you said, all four of those guys have had success here. And they both know that all four of those are dangerous. They have good teams, have good pit crews. There's only two people that feel really good coming in here. That's Briscoe and Hamlin.
Yeah, it's basically a points battle between Bell and Larson because you know at least one's getting in on points. So whoever's highest between those two should feel good. And then the other ones just have to wait to see if we have a different winner.
The playoff drivers will be in coming out later. A.J. Allmendinger in Group 1. And Steve, what a massive hit it was for A.J. Allmendinger at Talladega. I mean, there were not a lot of wrecks last week at Talladega, but the one that A.J. Allmendinger had in Stage 1 really stood out.
Yeah, you know, we didn't get the really big one that involved 20 cars, but you mentioned it. I think one of the worst.
Knowns about their car going into this race. AJ has 7 top 10s here, has a pair of second places. They don't circle this as one of the races they can win, but they definitely look forward to coming into Martinsville.
Yeah, Mama mentions it there. AJ's had 3 career second place finishes, 2 here at Martinsville. So something with AJ, Steve, clicks at this track.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but he's known for his road course aptitude, right? He's won in open wheel, won in stock cars. And Jeff, when I think of ovals and the brake pedal being a tool, just a general tool of use, this one jumps out because not only is it heavy braking, which everybody understands right there where he gets on the brakes, but it's also the next 300 or 400 feet. How much you let up on the brakes, how much you trail brake. That can balance and change how your race car drives.
I think that's exactly right. I also think the tempo of going back to the throttle, understanding when your car is turned, you know, if you try to hustle the car too much here, it actually hurts you. Driving the car harder many times puts it at a deficit, and I think that A.J. Allmendinger and that road course experience has really taught him that, like when to go back to the throttle, when's the appropriate time. This is a very tricky racetrack. It is a treasure in the state of Virginia. I'm sorry, the Commonwealth of Virginia. it is a treasure, and we are so blessed to have this racetrack. And think about all the history and all the things that have happened at this racetrack. And still today, here we are racing on it. It is so much fun coming here.
It's my favorite of the year, not even close.
76 years of history that you mentioned. Is there a more perfect venue than, Jeff, to set the championship for than Martinsville?
I love it here. I think with 2 races left to go back to the heritage roots of what our sport is about, short track racing, I think it's perfect. And it's put on some great races. It's just, to me, I just don't know where we could do it any better. We have great racetracks, though, all around the country. But, look, I'm partial. I grew up an hour from here, and so I understand the history of it. But this is just a fun event. We showed A.J. Allmendinger, CP1 on the board. His teammate, Todd Dillon, second on the board. So, Colin Grayson bringing some speed.
And Ryan Preece right behind him, 3rd fastest. Stevie's currently 18th in points. Would be a career best finish for him in a 6th full-time season if he can finish there over the next 2 races.
Well, and I think, I can't speak to Phoenix, but when I look at Ryan Preece, his ability behind the wheel, where he grew up in the modified world, you know, when you talk about Martinsville, modifieds have to come to mind. They have a long tenured history here as well. And he's just a short track style guy. And I feel like when you talk about muscling a car, sometimes leaning on your competitors, I think Preece is very comfortable with that. So this could go a long way to that points position you mentioned.
Happy birthday, Ryan Preece, 35 today. Also, happy birthday, Ward Burton. How old is Ward, Jeff?
Very.
He's your brother. You're supposed to know how old
64.
he is.
He's 64.
He's 64.
And fans, he loves it if you wish him happy birthday. So be sure if you see him to let him know.
Oh, goodness. Lots of birthdays happening here on this Saturday at Martinsville. Mentioned Ty Dillon. Nice start to practice for that group. Tell you what, Steve, you know, it can even be just a practice session like this that really kind of gives some teams some momentum. You can run top 10 in a practice session in Martinsville. Got to give a nice shot in the arm to this 10 bunch.
I mean, look, the year's long. It's exhausting. Left front lock up. We almost gave him the big jinx because that was almost another car for the 10 car. You just look for anything kind of to go your way. So any sort of speed is good. That was a big lock up and a big correction for Ty Dillon right there.
It's easy to do here, Steve, right? Just get that left front locked up. The car, that left front gets very light getting into the corner. We mentioned it earlier, the heavy braking force. Car unloads, and all of a sudden you're dragging that left front tire. We see it a lot in qualifying.
Pit road will certainly be a topic here at Martinsville, but it also was a topic at Talladega with Ty Dillon.
Yeah, so the 10 car's leaving his pit stall. There's a tire. Now, I believe that Ty probably doesn't have a good vision of that tire, but I still think that the jack man right there who's trying to point it out, his crew members on the radio. Remember, from the right side, you can see it. Jeff, you would probably have a better idea than me. But either way, I just find this whole chain of events unfortunate and a bit unacceptable. And NASCAR penalized the 10 for this as a safety violation, and I totally agree. I think I would overlook it if we were all in the top 5 at a place like Martinsville and you're trying to change 4 tires and get out of your pit stall. But at Talladega, on what I consider already really non-competitive pit stops, you're taking your time, you're kind of meandering around, putting 4 tires on it. I think that's a situation that is just very, very dangerous. Ty, in the end, has ultimate control of the 10 car, but he can't be alone in this. I feel like the spotter can't really see it from on top of the roof, but the crew chief from on top of the pit box and his crew members, they need to help the driver of the 10 that we need to see a safer exit in the future.
Yeah, it is very hard to see the tire there, and you have to, as you said, you know, in that situation, they were kind of uncompetitive pit stops, and some more safety would have been good there. But if you can't see it, you need somebody to be helping you and advising you that a tire's there, and that also there's a crew member on the other side of the car.
Cindric in the 2. 71 of McDowell, currently 3rd on the board.
Kind of a cool look to that 71, isn't it, Steve?
I like it. Gainbridge on the side as you big partner of this organization is really, I think that was the big step in my mind of when Spire kind of moved on, is when Gainbridge became a partner and they had the funding needed. That's when this whole organization took the next step. Behind him, Bowman in the 48. I think Bowman's job here today is pretty important because he's out here in the first group. He has 3 teammates that are playoff cars in the second group. You know, he can go out there, run, put laps in, and see if he can give them a little bit of a, I don't know, tip their hand a little bit before the next 3 have to go.
And I would say that goes for Cindric as well in that 2 car. He did not look very good. These guys were able to get right by him. You see he's kind of falling back in the pack a little bit. He does not have very good speed. However, the 21 car, although he's, you know, mid-pack, as far as just takeoff speed, he seems like he's okay. His speed seems pretty decent. So the 2 Penske cars, they would be looking at that car, that 21 car. There you go. You see second and 15-lap average. Suarez being first. So that's some good information for those 2 Penskes.
Happy 75th anniversary to the Wood brothers as well. Their home race, Jeff, just up the street here from Martinsville.
Yeah, they had a lot of their former drivers there this week. It's so fun to go to Stewart, and people in that community just love the Wood brothers and the impact they've had on the community and on the sport. Had autograph sessions. It's a good event.
Steve, if you were looking for a dark horse tomorrow afternoon, you know, a non-playoff driver, would you put Josh Berry near the top of that list? Got his first Xfinity Series win here at Martinsville.
Absolutely. I mentioned Ryan Preece and his modified experience. Well, you can't overlook Josh Berry and his late model stock experience, and just knows how to, I call it doing nothing. And here at Martinsville, at times you need the driver to do less. You need him to get it in the corner, but then through the middle of the corner, Jeff, you know, the car almost has to do the work for you. Like, I can't have you hustling it. I can't have you on the brakes. I can't have you on the gas. Like, I actually just need you to not do anything for about the middle third of the corner. Let the car do what it's supposed to do.
And that's become harder this week, Steve. We've come here the last several years, and the tires really haven't changed speed very much. But today,
yeah,
the 16 car was fastest. He ran a 1980. His 22nd lap was a 2062. That's in just over 20 laps. That's 0.8 of a second of fall off. So with tire fall off comes a car that doesn't drive as well. And so in my opinion, getting your car to do nothing, as you just mentioned, is going to become more difficult this weekend than what we've seen in the last few weeks.
Start to see
last few years,
sliming up on the right side. So look where this right side tires of this 99 goes. Look how clear and clean the concrete looks on the bottom, and look how much darker it looks up a little bit. So the concrete's starting to take rubber. That will instantly change how these cars drive. There's a great shot. So right here, you see down here where the lefts are, right, it's pretty clean, this whole area right here. But up here where the right side tires are going, it is really sliming up. I mean, you can literally watch the tire tracks being put down. That's so awesome to see that. And that is magic. When that starts to clump up, Marty, it'll start to stick. It'll get so thick that it almost looks like maybe like a sponge would look. Like it's this porous, slimy area of black. And then you actually have to move up the racetrack and straddle it. You don't want to put your tires in it when it starts to get like that. So
they ran the truck race here last night, and we rode in here this morning. The track looked like nothing had been on it.
Yeah.
It was perfectly clean. Now you can see this tire is just putting a ton of rubber on top of the racetrack.
But Steve, it's a
17th of the 19 cars that have taken time.
Yeah, it's not been the start for Austin Cindric as far as the car handling he wants. Again, this is a scenario where he's able to play guinea pig for the rest of his Team Penske teammates that are going to be in the playoff round in group number 2. He came over the radios, he brought the car to Brian Wilson and the crew and said, it is just painfully tight on fire off. I have no center speed or drive off the corner. It feels like it may come to them over the long run, but to remember how important qualifying is here, they're looking for short run speed. So as the crew continues to make adjustments on his Ford Mustang, Joey Logano has walked over. We see crew chief for Ryan Blaney, Jonathan Hassler, dip his head in as well on the timing stand for the Austin Cindric machine. So again, it's all hands on deck at Team Penske trying to diagnose the short run speed for Austin Cindric as the rest of his teammates anxiously await their turn on the racetrack.
And when you look at the balance that you really want to target in practice like this with a racetrack that isn't fully rubbered in, I need that car to be on the verge of spinning out loose. I mean, I don't want to be that much, but I want to be. I talked to Richard Boswell down there today. Like, he said he wants to be 2 or 3 numbers on the free side because as the rubber lays in come race time, it's going to lose front turn. You want to have your car really aggressively turning right now. If it's tight already, you've got to be making a big swing at it.
So let's go down a bit of a rabbit hole here because it's practice, it's qualifying. It says where you dial race cars in. There's a lot of folks listening that love to hear how a crew chief does things like that and how race teams do these types of things. Martinsville Speedway never ceases to amaze me when I walk the garage area. The air pressure that you crew chiefs, and you're smiling, the air pressure that you crew chiefs put in these tires, or lack thereof. Goodyear, let's establish this first. Goodyear every race puts out a minimum recommended air pressure. Recommended being the key word. That doesn't mean you have to be on that number. You can run whatever you want. There is a risk versus the reward you get. Obviously, the less air pressure you have in your tires, more specifically the left rear than anything here at Martinsville, that means more grip you have. But you also battle the sidewall of the tire flexing too much and potentially cutting down a tire. So you walk through the garage here. We did it earlier today. The left rear tires on these things were buckled and basically wrinkling up with the weight of the car on them. I know you're not going to tell me the numbers that you have run here and had success with, but
I'll give you an idea.
Safe to say it's much lower than what the recommended tire pressure will be.
Goodyear's recommended minimum for left side tires. The left front is 10 psi, the left rear is 12 psi, the right sides are 22 psi. There isn't a competitive car that's above those recommendeds. There's nobody that is. The left rear is going to be a single digit. It'll be a 9, might be an 8.5, it might be an 8. It could be that far down. That left front's probably going to be teetering on the 10 psi number, and the rights are going to be teetering around 20. They're probably the right rear is lower than that just to get drive off. And you know that you're going to build. And the reason you do that left side tire is going to double in air pressure, but from the heat that it gets put into it while it's on the racetrack. So although I started at let's say 9 psi, it's going to be 19 or 20 by the time it's hot and working. And that's the lower the air pressure, the better that tire gets into the racetrack and the more grip it makes. So you play off the front side to make sure you got the long run speed.
A lot of those teams have about 39 laps of feet right now in those tires as they are making long runs here. Daniel Suarez still the fastest in the 15-lap average. As we go to the pit lane, get an update from the Alex Bowman pit with Steve.
Alex Bowman, similar to the situation that Chris described with Austin Cindric. He is the lone Hendrick car out here in this practice session. And listening to Todd Gordon, and that's precisely why Alex Bowman brought his car down. He ran 28 laps, and he said the car was just getting a little bit snug, and they wanted it to free up. They wanted to loosen up. So Blake Harris decided to bring him down. They made some adjustments on it. Going to head back out onto the speedway and see what those adjustments do. Like Chris talked about with Team Penske, everybody in Hendrick Motorsports keeping a keen eye on it. Now, William Byron is down here. He is on pit road. He is behind his pit box, traditionally where they are. Martinsville's such a tiny little racetrack. Kyle Larson standing up on the transporter in the middle so he can see what the cars are doing down into turns 1 and 2. He can see what Alex Bowman's car is doing and hear what Alex Bowman is doing and saying Kyle is on top of his transporter with all of the data up there as well. So interesting perspective down here from the Hendrick camp as the 3 teams that are running for a playoff spot here tomorrow afternoon are all keeping a very keen eye on Alex Bowman and what they're hoping is a race car that they figured out. They were able to loosen it up a little bit with those recent adjustments.
Alex Bowman, a driver who's had some success here at the Martinsville Speedways, hoping to replicate that here tomorrow in the Xfinity 500. He won here at Martinsville back in 2021. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults aged 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
We welcome you back to Martinsville Speedway. Group 1, still 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go in their one and only practice for tomorrow's Xfinity 500. Don't forget, later on today here at Martinsville Speedway, Motor Racing Network will be live tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern for tonight's Xfinity Series penultimate race. It's going to be a big one in that Ritchie Brothers event that's going on tonight. And then tomorrow, NASCAR Live Race Day in the Xfinity 500. 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race.
Teams in group number 1 continuing to get laps around this half-mile Martinsville Oval, and one car just nearly caught the wall up in turn number 4, Riley Herbst. Close moment there, able to get the car back to the bottom of the racetrack.
I mean, my first race at Daytona, I recognize this is different. Like, this is a different animal than what I'm accustomed to doing, and it's been like that my entire career. Now, the pushing and the bump drafting and all that has gotten to another level for sure, but it's just been the nature of racing ever since I've been around.
Jeff, you pointed out one car that's really impressed you on the longer run, and that will be the story all day tomorrow in Martinsville's Michael McDowell.
Yeah, I think his pace is really good right here, 51 laps. I think Josh Berry is the best car, but the 71 car is right there with him.
12th at Martinsville in the spring, and there's the 15-lap average. Michael McDowell stacks up 7th. I think the kind of run you're talking about, though, Jeff, going much longer than just 15 laps, Dave.
So Marty, crew chief Travis Peterson just radioed his driver and said, your diamond is more than anybody. And it's giving you good exit. That may be where some of the speed is coming from. Jeff, what do you think?
Well, that's a great point, Dave. And the question is that good or not, right? So the reason I asked that question is, and we don't know the answer, is what is this rubber buildup going to do? or is it going to build up on the racetrack? So are you going to be able to diamond the corner? Is that going to work tomorrow after all of this rubber gets laid down? And that's just a question we don't know, right? So as a race car driver, what you have to be willing to do is to actually run some laps you might not be happy with. So put the thing on the curb. Just get the left side tires all the way on the curb, all the way around the corner. See what it drives like. See what my car needs to do better there. Then diamond the racetrack, like Dave just talked about Michael McDowell was doing. You have to put it in multiple situations in this long run so you can communicate to your team what it did well in every situation and what it did poorly.
Steve, you were wondering what would happen if you got into the marbles. Riley Herb said, well, I'll show you. This is what will happen when you get into the marbles.
He gave us a little science experiment.
Yeah.
We can see here on corner entry that's entering turn. Whoop, boy.
Loose.
Wow. I don't know if he just
loose. He's got really loose.
Just had to straighten the tire or straighten the wheel up, and now he's picking up all of that mess on his tires.
And that will take him how long to clean off his tires, Jim?
You start to trust it really after about probably 2 laps. You start to trust it. The first corner, you hate it. And then the second corner, it definitely gets better. Then it gets better yet again. The problem is, in the race, 2 laps means about 20 spots, right? So that can come at the wrong time. It can really hurt you. Riley Herb's pace is pretty decent here, though. You know, on 58 laps, he's got a pretty decent speed.
Showing you 15-lap average a couple of times. Daniel Suarez still on top of that. Some news with Suarez this week, Steve, and aspire next year to be in the 7 car. And, you know, nice to see Daniel landing somewhere.
Yeah, you hate it for Justin Haley, who's out there now looking for a ride. But for Daniel, I believe it's going to be a good fit. I think, you know, it's been announced now for a bunch of weeks that he wasn't going to be back at this 99. And I had talked about how much I think Spire's continuing to improve. And when I look at McDowell there and Hocevar, I think Swartz kind of fits that bill. Like, he's not a young driver, but he's also perhaps still has a bunch of years ahead of him. So he can go in there, plug into their program, continue him to give good feedback. It's in another Chevrolet, so he's going from Chevy to Chevy. So the key members at the manufacturer that he's talking to, he's used to talking to, the tools he's used to looking at, those will all be similar. So I think that'll help the learning curve.
I think, you know, it's kind of crazy to think about for Daniel Suarez. This will be his 5th Cup team, Jeff. So how can that help Spire? Because he's seen it work at Joe Gibbs Racing and at Stewart Haas and at Trackhouse. Now he brings that experience to Spire.
Well, we heard some of the executives from Spire talking about how they're kind of in the same situation. They're both desperate, right? So when you've had multiple teams, it's because things haven't always worked the way you wanted to do. Now, there are cases that you don't want to leave and a team didn't want you to leave, but it just had to happen. But I think Daniel Suarez now, like, he's even more desperate, right? And he already is an aggressive race car driver. He already cares a lot about it. But now it's like, okay, I got to get this done right now. And it just raises the intensity. But I think he can bring something. They can bring something to each other. I think that's what I like about this pairing. You said it. The most difficult part of this sport is that he has an opportunity, and unfortunately it's at the cost of Justin Haley, right?
Yeah.
And it's just part of the sport. It happens to drivers, it happens to crew members, it happens to engineers, crew chiefs. You know, it happens, it's just part of it. It happens in every single sport. But a young guy like Justin Haley doesn't mean his career is over by any means. He can find a ride, hopefully in the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series, and show what he can do, right? And try to work himself back up to the Cup Series. So, yes, it's a big blow to a driver to lose his Cup ride. It is heartbreaking for sure, but in many cases, Dale Jarrett was one, Mark Martin was one. There's several people that went on to be incredible race car drivers that lost their jobs and came back and found a way to be successful. So that's what you have to look at.
Some good points for Justin Haley, who at one point kind of looked like he was in the pipeline for Hendrick Motorsports, but now will be looking for a ride in 2026. And I'm sure he will find somewhere to land. Practice Group 1 wrapping up quickly here. Only 40-some seconds left. Steve, what did you learn in this group?
Well, I learned that the tires are putting rubber down on the concrete, which is something I wanted to see. The marbles tells me that both the rights and the lefts are wearing. I can't wait to see some tires off the cars. And then, Jeff, to your point, I think it's a little more fall off than we've seen. It's not dramatic. A.J. Allmendinger right here, he's slowed down about 6 or 7 tenths of a second. We'll see if that's just this group, or if the second group that'll come out on a more mature racetrack, they'll still have the same thing. But that'll tell me there'll be differing strategies, and not every car will slow down the same amount, which should make for a good race.
I think that's the key. is that what I'm looking at is a car that doesn't handle well, it falls off more speed than a car that does handle well. In the past, we've seen that really not be the case. Everybody kind of fell off the same amount, but I'm not seeing that today. I do see some difference. And I see in practice like that right there. We just saw A.J. Allmendinger get loose on corner entry, right? So the braking power of the race cars isn't a given, right? So watch this right here. A.J. Allmendinger drives in the corners on the brakes. Look at the back of the car. It is not connected to the racetrack. So up the racetrack he goes. I would say the very first time we came here, Steve, with this car, I never saw that.
Right.
I stood outside and froze. I was freezing that race. But I never saw a car lose traction on corner entry for the entire race. And I've seen it a lot of times today in practice.
Interesting Group 1 with the playoff drivers coming up here in Group 2. The round of 8 wraps up here at Martinsville, but man, what a round it's been. All the controversy that happened at Vegas, Denny Hamlin in victory lane at the end of the day, and then Talladega last week. What a dramatic last lap it was for Hendrick Motorsports, but Chase Briscoe gets the win. He's in the championship 4. It all wraps up here tomorrow at Martinsville.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest.
Group 2 getting set to go out onto the racetrack for the first time here as NASCAR Cup Series practice continues. The first 19-car group is already taking their time to the racetrack in their first 25-minute session. A.J. Allmendinger led the way over Ty Dillon, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, John Hunter Nemechek. Then it was Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, and Josh Berry, the top 10, although Berry one of the fastest on a long run.
He was one of the better cars out there. Daniel Suarez pretty good as well on the longer green flag run that we saw in practice. The longest anyone ran in that session was Justin Haley. He went 67 laps in that practice session. A.J. Allmendinger only did 38 laps out there. A.J.'s pretty good when it comes to racing here at the Paperclip here in Virginia. 2 of his top 3 career second-place finishes came right here at the Martinsville Speedway. Todd, you may know a thing or two about that.
2012 spring race with A.J. here, qualified back in the 20s. He slugged his way forward all day long. It was the first time I'd been to a 500-lap race because I was a rookie crew chief in the Cup Series. Got to about halfway, we're top 10. I'm like, we're in a great spot. Oh, we got half a race to go. Ended up second that day. A.J. did a phenomenal job.
Talked a moment ago how Josh Berry has been one of the fastest cars over the long run. Let's hear from him now with Chris Wilner.
And Kyle, yeah, top 10 in the short run, but more importantly, second overall in the long run in Group 1. Josh, what was working for you there over the course of that 25-minute session?
Yeah, the car felt really good. Just a little bit tight, but stayed under me pretty well. I mean, I definitely pretty close. So, really happy with that run there. I feel like we got the balance really close there. Obviously, learning from this new tire. I think we learned a lot from the spring too. So, I feel really good about it. Tires look like they're wearing some. So, I mean, it seemed like I had some guys that come in and had 20 lap lesser tires or whatever that was able to get to me and pass me pretty quickly. So I think we're in for a fun race tomorrow.
I think about just as important for you as this practice session now is the debrief. We saw Travis Geisler over here. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen for Group 2. How much input are you going to have and what you did to what the other 3 on the Penske side do?
Yeah, I think, obviously we were pretty strong there, so that's encouraging for Joey and Ryan. I think they just wanted to get, a couple, just what I was feeling. But overall, I think our cars are pretty good, so it should be a fun weekend.
Josh Berry really happy with his race car on the long run. We'll see how that translates to the 2 Penske drivers in the playoffs.
Group 2, and including all the playoff drivers, will be set to take to the racetrack in just a moment. They've got the Elgin sweeper out there, just making sure they sweep up any bit of rubber marbles that have come off the cars in Group number 1 practice. Before we put the cars on the track, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network here at the Martinsville Speedway. Practice and pole qualifying for tomorrow's Xfinity 500 is ongoing. My name is Alex Hayden, Kyle Rickey, and NASCAR Cup Series championship winning crew chief Todd Gordon here in the broadcast booth with Steve Post and Chris Wilner up and down the pit lane.
Qualifying coming up in a little bit. Group 2 for practice coming out onto the racetrack in a moment. All the playoff drivers, along with drivers like Brian Keselowski, Ross Chastain, Todd Gilliland, Ty Gibbs, all about to take to the track for their 25-minute session coming up shortly. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, Tim. It's your man tank. I think those veggies in the crisper are drying up.
I know. I've been meaning to eat those. I'll get around to it.
Get around to it.
I will, man. Jeez. All right?
Or just eat Jack Link's jerky. Smoked, seasoned. Some real meat would do you a lot of good, Tim. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, just moments away from sending group number 2 onto the racetrack here for this session. Cars getting into line on the pit lane, and like Alex mentioned a moment ago, all the playoff drivers among this second group. 37 cars on hand for the NASCAR Cup Series, looking to practice and later qualify for tomorrow's Xfinity 500.
So here is who is in group number 2 about to go on to the racetrack. You've got Zane Smith, Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carson Hocevar, Todd Gilliland, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, among others.
And Bubba Wallace, who has some news this week we'll talk about here in a little bit, along with Chase Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, and Chase Briscoe.
You mentioned the news for Bubba Wallace. He and his wife are expecting their second child, so congratulations to the Wallaces. Parenthood looks good. It's hard for me to say on Bubba Wallace. You know, I've never been a parent, but I hear that it changes you as a person. Todd, you and Trey are producing, the only ones up here that have kids.
Yeah, you don't know what it's like until you experience it. But Bubba's done a great job of maturing this year. I think fatherhood has been good for it, and it's been good for him. Baby number 2 on the way. Must be a celebration this summer, and great for those guys. But let's get down here to somebody else that's going to be down there. Chris Wilner, you've got Alex Bowman, I believe.
I do. Alex Bowman after group number 1. Okay, first off, what'd you think of the softer left side tire? What did you learn in 25 minutes?
Yeah, it's certainly faster than we were here in the spring. So took off, feeling a lot more grip than I was expecting. I knew it was softer. I guess I just didn't think it would make as big of a difference as it did. But I was pretty happy with our car for 25 or so, and then we just built the right rear up too much. So got some adjustments to make on the Ally 48, but hopefully we learn enough to qualify well and can kind of go from there.
I hate to use the word guinea pig, but you get to relay what you felt in 25 minutes to a couple guys fighting for a spot in the championship 4. So what are the debriefs like? What did you tell them to expect here as they get set to go?
Yeah, I mean, they just listen to what we're talking about, right? So listen to our radios, and I'm not going to walk over and tell them, but they're a whole lot smarter than me. They'll figure it out anyway.
Alex Bowman going to watch group number 2, but able to provide with his driving and feedback to his team, potentially what the Kyle Larson and William Byron group will figure out here in group number 2.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo long cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Hi folks, Kyle Petty here. This year, Victory Junction is celebrating 20 amazing years of bringing fully adaptive camp experiences to kids with serious medical conditions. Through summer camp, family weekends, and hospital outreach, Victory Junction provides joy year-round. And the best part? Camp is always completely free for the families we serve. Together, we can make a difference for kids. Learn more about how you can get involved and support at victoryjunction.org.
We welcome you back to Martinsville Speedway. Green flag goes in the air from Joey Acock on top of the flag stand. And Group 2 practice, including all the playoff drivers, begin to roll off the pit lane. Before those cars come up to speed, let's check back in the pits with Steve Post.
Did have a chance to talk with James Small. He is the crew chief for race winner Chase Briscoe last week at Talladega Superspeedway. And I asked him what his plan was on this one, and he said it's very similar to what you look for every time. He wants to go out and run 75 laps and have the car do exactly what they want it to do. Now, of course, that's what you want to do and what happens, but he really has a lot of questions about what the tire is going to do, and I think they learned a little bit watching that first practice session, but we'll see how it goes as far as that goes. So we'll see what happens with it, but James Small, the crew chief for Chase Briscoe, he is confident that they can have a good practice session, and they have got, like Chase said, they've got to just keep the momentum, keep the gas pedal down, and run good here this weekend, and then go to Phoenix and run for the championship.
And leads Group 2 onto the racetrack, does his driver Chase Briscoe, as they'll take a couple of laps at slower speeds before gaining speed and getting up to speed here in this second session. The clock is rolling. 23 minutes, 45 seconds to go. We talk a lot about rubber on the racetrack. There is a NASCAR Xfinity Series race later on this evening. More about that in a moment. But Todd, second group on the racetrack.
Yeah, second group on the racetrack. And explain to listeners back home the reason that these guys are not at speed. You got to get, because these are such big braking events into turn 1, into turn 3. They're rolling around here, got their foot on the brake. They're just trying to build heat into the rotors so that the rotors don't end up with just a tremendous amount of energy put into them while they're cold, because that could crack rotors. So they're working their brakes and just running down here kind of on throttle, on brake, getting heat into the system, getting the gears warmed up, and then they'll probably get rolling here. I would say probably come to the green here.
But the clock is rolling. It started rolling as soon as the green flag went in the air, and we're down. Well, they've wasted 2.5 minutes of their practice session just getting those brakes kind of going here. Now the first laps at speed begin to take shape as everybody tries to find some clean racetrack. Problem being is the first driver to get on the hammer was Chase Briscoe, and he's run into the back of the tail into the field right now. The Texas A&M Aggies colors on board for Cole Custer this weekend. Chase Briscoe had a pretty good lap going and had to stand on the brakes, Kyle, just to make sure he didn't run over Cole Custer, who was still warming up.
Able to bypass him up the back straightaway, but still some cars in front of him that were coming up to speed as Chase was ready to go. The first of them, Todd Gilliland, just a couple of lengths in front of Chase Briscoe. You mentioned Cole Custer. He'll join us here on the Motor Racing Network later tonight for the NASCAR Xfinity Series broadcast, 7 o'clock Eastern Time here on the Motor Racing Network. As these cars come up to speed, we talk about the Xfinity race later tonight. Todd, how will the track change from what they learned here today compared to what they'll have tomorrow after the 250-lap event here later this evening?
Yeah, the 250-lap event for the Xfinity, it's going to get cold, and I think that the rubber will pick up. The biggest thing, the track should fire off like these practices are, but I feel like with 38 cars on the racetrack and working your way through, by lap 75, it's going to have twice as much rubber as what they can produce here in these practices.
Might get cold tonight, but the action on the track will be hot for the NASCAR Xfinity Series as we get set to figure out who will the championship 4 be. Just like we did in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series last night, Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Tyler Ankrum, and Ty Majeski are the championship 4s. We head off to Phoenix for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and we'll have that broadcast for you on the NASCAR Racing Network Friday evening.
Corey Heim picking up the checkered flag last night. 2 nights ago, the busy race weekend got underway here. The NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour crowned its newest champion, Austin Beers.
Just running around slow for a couple laps. Now having to qualify. 1 car at a time will clean the racetrack completely up. And all the cars out there at once as Hamlin goes to the top of the board. No surprise there. Wallace second, Larson third. Gibbs, Elliott, Byron. I mean, this group is stacked up. It is going to be so I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm telling you, there won't be many laps where all 8 aren't inside the top 10. It is going to be just a slugfest.
Larson being held up a little bit right here by Reddick.
He's going to show him the nose like,
yes.
hey, buddy, work with me here. And Reddick says, yep, all right, you're faster.
That's exactly what that was. He just turned left, said, hey, man, I'm faster. Let me roll here.
That's like the NASCAR version of flashing your headlights. You know, it's like, I'm going to pull out a lane. That's me flashing my headlights.
Conversation with Larson was pretty interesting this week. And I said, it seems like to me, as many short tracks as you raced growing up, like you have to feel comfortable here. And he said, no. He said, if you think about what he grew up racing, you don't slow down the car. Like, you know, sprint cars, etc., they have so much corner speed in the center of the corner. Here, you really slow the car way down and then accelerate the car back. And he's like, it's completely different than what I grew up doing. So it's hard. He said a hard time getting the rhythm of this racetrack and feeling like he's comfortable here.
Playoff drivers highlighted left-hand side of your screen in yellow. Those in green, which would be 2 drivers, Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe, have advanced to the championship 4 already.
Chase Elliott at the top of the board. I'm telling you, I've been saying this all week. I feel like this is a 9-car weekend. If it stays a little bit cooler, this new tire, it's like old school Martinsville, super patient. And his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, knows this place. 3 wins here. He's won with Jeff Gordon, the master. He taught me how to race here. He taught Alan how to race here. He's taught Hendrick Motorsports how to race here. And I think Chase, this personality just suits what I think we're going to see here. Long runs, tire maintenance. That is this guy to a T. Him, I think it's going to be a Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, absolute show at the front of the field.
And if you think about Alan Gustafson's 3 wins here, 2 of them were in must-win scenarios, one with Jeff Gordon, one with Chase Elliott in 2020. They went on to win the championship this year, or that year in 2020. And Jeff, I think people forget about the spring race. They go, well, Denny Hamlin dominated, he won the race. But the second best car was Chase Elliott, who said, hey, if I just could have gotten past Denny Hamlin on that final restart, we would have won the race, not the 11.
Well, think about the recent finishes for Chase Elliott here. 4th, a 2nd, and a 3rd, right? So he's put himself in position to win those races. The key, if you have a fast race car, to winning at Martinsville is you cannot lose track position, right? You cannot have bad pit stops. You cannot have bad restarts. And you can't lose your temper. You're going to get run into. Somebody's going to run into the back of you. Somebody's going to run into your door. That's where this guy, Denny Hamlin, is so good at managing these races. He understands that they're long, and you have to get to the end and have yourself in the position that you need to be in.
I'm laughing. Why are you laughing?
Well, because not only does he manage his temper, but he infuriates yours. It's like he's so good. He's like, I know what's going to irritate this guy, and he does it, and just like until your skin boils, and then you make a mistake, and then he kind of cruises on. He's on both the offense and the defense.
Yeah, he makes speed doing it, right? Anybody can go around here and be calm and not be mad, but how do you make speed? And I just think Denny has such a unique feel to his race cars, and you got to know this guy is hungry. I know he's kind of downplayed championship a little bit, but there is no question that Denny Hamlin, a Hall of Fame driver, no question he's going to be a Hall of Fame driver, but he wants a championship, right? Everybody wants a championship, and it's easy to say, hey, we know he's locked in, we know he's going to next week, but Steve, I think this is a week where this team, as well as the 19 team, they can use this as a little bit of a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like, let's put all the pressure on us this week. Let's go in here and say we have to win this race. Like, let's take that mentality so that when we go next week, it's kind of pretend, but when we go next week, we've been there. We've lived it. I think this is an opportunity for both of those teams.
Well, when you talk about Denny Hamlin and Martinsville and why he's so good, I have watched a tremendous amount of game tape on this guy right here. You name it, even as a crew chief and now as a broadcaster. And I will tell you, the magic in my mind is when nothing's lit up. So I want you to watch right here. I joked earlier about doing nothing. Watch Denny Hamlin. He's going to be heavy on the brake, off the gas. Now watch when nothing lights up. Right there. That's the magic. I know that sounds crazy, but he waits. He's at a spot in the corner, right here on the curb. Nobody's going by him. Nobody's catching him. And he just lets the car 5 feet, 7 feet. He lets it go just a little further around the corner. So when he goes to the throttle, when this gas does go this direction right here, look at just how, I mean, it's just one sweeping move to the throttle. It is so impressive to watch how patient he is around the curb right here.
So to that point, Steve, if it is indeed a softer left side tire, and indeed it wears out more, is that going to put more of an advantage in the 11 camp this weekend?
As long as the car does what he asks it to do, which I believe it will, this team's very good. I just feel like this is old school. This is what we've been wanting. So look at the short track. Look, it's no secret this car, when it came here, Jeff, the first couple times, the corner entry speed was so high, they couldn't spin each other out, everything. But there's been a lot of changes to the car, a lot of changes to the tire, and I've had this one circled for a few months now. We have seen tires make a huge difference at other short tracks. We've seen them work at a place like Kansas, and I think this is the ultimate venue for all of that to kind of get mixed together.
When you say, is it an advantage to Denny Hamlin, everything Steve just said about when you're watching this race, think about it. He's not making anything mad. He's not putting a lot of brake in the center of the corner. He's not driving heat into the tires. He's not making the rear tires mad. He's got everything happy right now. Even his car's not perfect, right? But he's managing that, and that's how special Denny Hamlin is. He's able to take the experience that he's had, the feel that he has, and these are just kind of races that well, at this point in his career, he's good at every kind of race, but these are the kind of races that I just feel like he is at his best.
Jeff, the group that everyone will have their eyes on tomorrow evening, Team Penske, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, both in must-win scenarios. And Steve, I think it's maybe, Ryan Blaney, you could argue, would have been the favorite coming into this race. We'll see what happens after practice, but I would say either Team Penske car could go to victory lane tomorrow night and put themselves in the championship four.
They could, both good, but one has been great, and that's the difference. I believe that Logano, you never want to vote against Logano. They find ways, but it doesn't strike me that he's going to come here and dazzle us on speed and delete a bunch of laps and just wow us to victory lane. Ryan Blaney could. Ryan Blaney right now is really decent on speed. He's third of all the laps run here. He's in the top 5 when you look at 15 laps. So, but this 12 car is the best when the track is the worst. At the end of the race with all the slime on the racetrack, that's when the 12 shows up. Joey Logano can do it, Jeff, but something, I don't know. I've just never seen Joey Logano be the guy to come lead 200 or 300 laps here, where Blaney, I feel, could pull that off. Mamba, what do you think about Team Penske?
That's the truth, guys, that if you ask anyone on pit road who you need to keep out of Phoenix, it's the Team Penske cars. And Joey Logano is one of those guys that just rises to the occasion. Last year, his wife stopped me in victory lane after they won their championship, put her finger in my chest and said, do not ever count Joey Logano out. And looking at it right now, he's 7th on the board, good on average speed. I talked to Joey right before he strapped in, and there was an eerie laser focus about him, like, I've been here, done that. Guys, the confidence in the 22 to get it done is an all-time high.
So, Jeff, I think Mamba touched on something interesting there, that the collective playoff field, they don't want Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney in the championship four because they know they would be the favorites when it comes to Phoenix next week. Is Martinsville that dissimilar from Talladega, where the rest of the field can have an effect of whether or not a Team Penske car makes the championship four?
Outrun them. That's what you have to do. And I will tell you that so far, I will tell you that other teams have brought more pace to the racetrack than they have. I think Chase Elliott looks really, really fast. William Byron looks really, really fast. And Denny Hamlin, I think those 3 cars right there, I think that's the best 3 cars at the racetrack from what I'm seeing.
William Byron, we talked about how the last couple of weeks at the end of the race went for that race team. And see, they've been spectacular in the spring here at Martinsville. The fall race has been tough for this group.
I think it's been the perspective of what they've had to do. Jeff just pointed out how he said, this doesn't feel like any trip here. I'm relaxed. I got to win. So, I want to see it. I want to see if that shows up. This is it. This is what we want to see. 24 rolling in a groove higher, turning down. I like the option. He doesn't seem to be working a lot to get next to the 9, but the fact that he's continuing to do it tells me that it works.
See, and they've driven away a little bit from the 11. I think these 2 cars are just better than everybody. Now, there's a lot of time between now and tomorrow, but if I'm just looking at overall speed, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the 200 cars.
It's just
Larson pitted, right?
Yeah.
So he is not as happy with his car.
Tell you what, Steve, what a turnaround, though, just on pure pace for Hendrick Motorsports since the first round of the playoffs. You go back to Darlington, look at New Hampshire, you look at how they were at, Bristol, and they are a different group here at the end of the playoffs.
Mike Tyson said it well. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and I really think that Hendrick Motorsports felt like they were going to be really good at Darlington. There's no reason why they shouldn't. If at all summer you run very different racetracks, you work on different engine packages, a bunch of things go into the summer. And I just think that them, much like Jeff and I, we had this conversation. We thought Hendrick would show up at Darlington, be Hendrick, be right up front. And then they weren't. And what makes that organization, much like Gibbs and much like Penske, so successful is no one evaluates their performance tougher than their own self-evaluation. And I think that's what happened, right? They said, all right, we got to get to work, figure out some different things, and they found a way to kind of bring it together here in the late stages of the playoffs.
You see that 9 car, the back of the car moving around a little bit free. Denny Hamlin's still making good pace. I feel like the 11, a minute ago I thought the Hendricks were driving away from him, but he has found something. And here he is keeping pace, if not a little better than they are. But all the cars are moving around, right? None of them are just, look at the 24 car, back of the car sliding off the corner.
And
why is that a good sign? Why is that a good sign?
You just don't want them stuck. When the cars are stuck, there's nothing you can do. You want to see the cars move around. You want to see tire wear become a factor, just because it's just a bunch of ingredients that force teams and drivers to display their skills. When the cars are really stuck here, there's just not a lot of option to get by. They're short laps, it's tight corners. Oh man,
Hybrid.
that 9 car is definitely losing some. That's it. Chase said, all right,
that's enough.
Rear grip is gone for me. So now Denny, for the guy like Denny is like, oh, I like see now if I can put some laps together on this 24. 24, you see a little bit of rear sliding out. Just listen to how Denny drives this thing, right? It's such kind of repetitive. Jeff, you got to get into a rhythm, I would imagine, as a driver here.
No question. And it's a game of thousandths of a second, right? So you're making adjustments every lap to what your car is doing well and what it's not doing well. And you're just searching for thousandths of a second. And you can see as this run's gone on, the Hendricks are starting to lose a little bit of grip. Look at the back of the car, 24 car moving around.
Now, I will tell you, I'm happier with that than if the front goes away.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like in practice, the back has to go away first because I think the car is going to be overall tighter.
We can see Denny gain on entry there almost every lap on William Byron. That was 42 laps, by the way, for Chase Elliott when he said no moss on that run.
Look at that. There he goes. So the Hendrick cars know that Denny Hamlin earlier pulled over and let him go, right? But now the Hendrick cars know, okay, we got some long run work we got to do, right? Our cars took off well, drove really well. They weren't as good on a long run. This 11 car looks like he can do both. Now, somebody that can't is Joey Logano. He is struggling. He is off pace by a significant amount. See his hand out the window, letting Ross Chastain go by. Joey is not happy with his race car at all.
And that one looks like the front's not where he wants it to be. Just listen in and see what happens in the middle of the corner.
His teammate Blaney, he's not great either. I mean, Blaney just ran a 20.75. Denny Hamlin ran a 20.37. That is nowhere near the speed that you need to be right now. Now, look, I know better than to count them out. Okay, Let's be clear. But they did not unload the way they wanted to.
So, Steve, that's 47 laps into the run here as we're going to watch what happened to Joey Logano. Why not come in? If you're Paul Wolfe, say, hey, come in if you're not happy with the car.
I don't think you can make changes and learn anything on these old tires. Let's just see right here. Oh, the 22 has to go up and around. The 38 is running slow. That'll get your attention.
Yeah, get ready. Be like that all day tomorrow.
Yeah. The first stage is 130 laps. I don't think you can learn anything making changes on old tires. I think you just need to run it out. I would rather know what the car does on old tires.
Mamba, what you know?
Yeah, guys, I just jumped down to the 22 pit and asked, what is he saying? Driver 22 fighting a tight condition right here. And at this racetrack, Jeff, there's probably nothing more worse than what a driver would want than being tight around a tight Martinsville.
Well, that's exactly right. And the reason that's a problem is that right there, if you're in the middle of the corner and you're still turning the wheel, the guy that's in front of you, if he doesn't have to do that, he's in the gas leaving you. So right,
vibration here.
there is the most important part of the corner. Joey talking about a vibration. At this point in practice, I'm thinking, all right, just bring it to me. Let's don't make a bad situation worse. Car's not driving good enough. Let's go to work. Now remember, the 21 car, they have an alliance with this team. The 21 car was very good in practice. So there is, we don't know what setups they have, right? But there is an opportunity to learn something off of that 21.
Paul Wolf making the call to bring Joey Logano to pit road after 51 laps on the track. Ross Chastain turning some laps out on the track. Lap 53 for Ross going on the board. Remember what happened here a couple of years ago, Jeff? Yes, everyone, that is still real time. It is not fast forward. The Hail Melon for Ross Chastain got him into the championship four. Still crazy to look at it. You're shaking your head, Jeff.
Just going to keep driving. Fine. Was just fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's times that, I don't want to speak for Bubba, but for me, there was times that I just wanted, don't talk to me right now. I am trying to find the hundredths of a second that I've been looking for, right? And where is it? What can I do as a driver? What am I asking of my car that it won't do? Because when, Steve, you and I sit down after this practice, I have to give you very, very good information if you're going to make this race car better. So, but you see, it's not easy. Even though he's good, you saw right there on corner entry, he had an issue. And back to the Penske cars, we talked about them struggling. I will say that the last 7 or 8 laps, I feel like Blaney has gotten better. Like, they're not where they need to be, but the split from where they need to be to some others, look how loose the back of that car is, has kind of gotten a little bit better. But you can see he is not happy with the race car. The back is just not stuck.
He's 62 laps into the run, Jeff. That's pretty deep for the car to finally kind of come to life, if you will.
Well, in the 9 car, he's only got 52 laps, so there should be an advantage here. That's a good thing. That's what we want to see.
Absolutely.
Bell trying to get by Blaney as well.
I don't know what to make of Bell. Doesn't jump off the page at me. I don't want to say he's good. I don't want to say he's bad. Well, he hasn't done anything yet that says I want to put him with those top 5 or 6 guys. Really, his lap times are super unimpressive.
What if you compare him heads up to Kyle Larson, who as we stated earlier, who he's really racing tomorrow?
He's well behind Larson if I'm just looking at speed. If I'm looking at just the 20 and the 5, kind of matched up, it looks like off the truck, the 5 car is much faster. The real struggle is then they both come down pit road, and then it just gets into a mess of data, Dave, and I can't really make sense of it. But first run to first run, I would give the advantage to Larson over Bell.
Well, earlier in the practice, Steve, Christopher came on the radio and just said, I feel stuck in traffic here. And Adam was like, I'm interpreting Adam bringing him in because he's like, this is not great where he is, so just come on in. They made some adjustments and sent him back out there and has been tooling around ever since. So, Steve, sometimes if your driver just feels stuck, he kind of feels stuck overall, right? Like he's not there yet.
Yeah, you know, maybe just he doesn't have what he needs to pass those cars. Everybody's probably gripped up a little too much in the first 20 laps to make a lot of movements. It's just going to be, you know, these are the things where everybody's like, well, who's good in practice? Some weeks it's clear, and here I have some cars I do think are very, very good, but this 20 I have a hard read on at the moment.
By watching him, I don't think he's happy. Watch his hands. Turns in the corner. Right, tight. But many times I see him, looks like, watch this lap. Gets in the corner, downshifts, turns. Watch this. Back of the car.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Right, back of the car wasn't in the racetrack. He had to turn the car back to the right. No different than if you're on ice at home and you got to turn the car back to the right to keep from spinning out. And loose in the middle here has no future. Not a successful one. You just cannot make pace if you're loose in the middle.
As quiet as Denny Hamlin looked on that long run, you know, Bell's kind of the opposite. He's very busy behind the wheel, Jeff.
Yeah, and again, these teams are so good. There's a reason that they are where they are in the points, right? And so you don't always unload with the best stuff, but the best teams can find a way between now and qualifying, and then again from qualifying to the race to make the changes they need to make to get it as competitive as it needs to be. They're so good at what they do.
Well, Steve said it earlier, the 8 that are left, certainly the
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo long cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedway, practice for the Xfinity 500 is in the books, and something that's worth talking about, at least in my opinion, and we'll get Todd to give us his opinion as a championship-winning crew chief and a guy who's won here at Martinsville. As we look at everybody who's practiced today, every one of the 37 drivers, most everybody's fastest lap came at minimum on lap, 5? Most, there's, quite a few of them on lap 6, 7, and 8 as well. In qualifying, Todd, you only get 2 laps to qualify. So how do you compensate for knowing that your fastest laps were 5, 6, 7, and 8 when you only have 2 to get the job done?
There's 2 things here. One of which is that we spent 2.5 laps of just kind of rolling tires in and getting the brakes warmed up. So that's gonna increase that lap count from what it's going to be. But no, to your point, qualifying air pressures will be higher. And you look at all these teams look at the data. That tire doesn't make the most grip when it's at 8 pounds. It just, that projects it when it gets hotter, that it comes into the range that it wants to make grip. When you look at the left side tires, they'll have more air pressure in these tires. Where you may start the race, let's just throw generic numbers out there. You may start the race with 9 pounds in the lefts and 20 pounds in the rights. You're probably going to qualify at 15 pounds, 14 or 15 in the laps, because that's more where it makes grip, especially after 1 or 2 laps. And you're probably going to be closer to 28 or 9 pounds in the rights, which puts it more in that working range. So that when you talk about all the changing over to qualifying mode, they're going to do some things on air pressure. They're going to do some things on heights, because now with the tires blown up like that, the car rides higher. So now we can take some rounds out and move the car back down so that the aero platform, the car is as low as it can be, but you've got higher pressures.
Cars in group number 1 have made those adjustments and are beginning to make their way to the grid here on the front straightaway. Justin Haley will be the first driver to take time over Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Noah Gregson, A.J. Allmendinger, and Riley Herbst. Something we'll talk a lot about tomorrow, Todd. The pit lane here at the Martinsville Speedway starts in turn 3, wraps around turn 4, all the way down the front stretch through turns 1, and the exit is way over at the entrance to the back straightaway at the exit of turn number 2. Where do you want to pit here?
Pit stall 1. That's a big deal to me. I always liked being in the corner of 1 and 2 because I could watch my race car. I could see what my driver was having to deal with. It wasn't just listening to him. I could visualize it and work that way as well. I like pit stall 1. There are guys that will tell you there is an opening here between pit stalls 9 and 10. 10 is basically the end of the front straightaway. That opening has some benefits to it because as you run around the corners here, you will actually run faster because of the way that pit road is measured. They measure it against the pit wall, but you actually run out against the outer pit wall. You'll actually pick up pace probably 4 or 5 miles an hour to maximize your time through there. So by picking its end of front straightaway, you get to run your lights to your pit box. You get a different set of lights from that part around. But for me, pit stall 1. A guy that will be in contender, a short track racer that we had in the booth here Thursday night for the modified race. Ryan Preece is down there with Chris Mulliner.
Yeah, Todd, our teammate from Thursday night up in the broadcast booth, Ryan Preece. So first off, happy birthday. 35 years young. We're going to say young, right?
Yeah, we've hit that point, I guess. But yeah, no, boy, we are going to be in for a treat for tomorrow. And, coming into the weekends when we make tire changes, you never really know how you want to approach the weekend, but I think after that practice, we all have we all kind of know what we need to do tomorrow to make it live. So Goodyear's definitely been doing what we've been asking them, and that's making tires fall off, and that's what we have. So this Castrol Travel Centers of America Ford Mustang fires off really well. I'm just going to have to do my job and make it last tomorrow.
We talk about how important qualifying is here. Track position is king. So you learned a lot over the course of the long run. What translates to the short run here?
Short run's easy. It's actually the long run that's difficult. And to be honest with you, track position in the past has always been a big thing. I don't think it's still going to be a thing, but I don't think it's going to be as big as it usually is. So tire management, that's going to be the big thing.
I think a birthday present will be put on poll. What do you think?
I'm going to try.
Ryan Preece again. Happy birthday to him. He's had his hands full. Birthday today. Him and his wife celebrated the birth of their second child a couple of weeks ago. It's been a busy, busy couple weeks for the Preece family as Ryan will get set to qualify, and one of the short track aces will try to do his job and put it up towards the front.
Looking to start toward the front of the field here. Qualifying coming up shortly for Ryan Preece as we go back to the pit lane and Steve Post.
Daniel Suarez down here, one of our faster drivers on the longer runs down here, has gone back into a little debrief with Matt Swiderski, his crew chief down here. Daniel, our stats show long run speed feels pretty good. How did it feel from the driver's seat of the race car?
Yeah, honestly, these guys did an amazing job with the car. The car feels pretty good. The short run of the speed, is pretty good. Middle part of the run is pretty good. The long run, talking long run like 60 laps. Yeah. Maybe it can be a little bit better, but overall, very proud of the group. They keep pushing hard. Or Jockey 99 Chevy Camaro is pretty sporty. I'm looking forward to hopefully lay down one good lap and work on it for tomorrow.
You made an announcement this week about your future over at Spire Motorsports. How important is it with that out of the way to finish strong here with these guys, with the Trackhouse team that you've had such a good relationship with?
Yeah, that's exactly right. For me it was important just to get the questions out of the way, right? Because I was getting a lot of questions every single week, and now I can focus in closing my cycle with the 99 and Trackhouse as strong as possible, because as a racing driver I always say that you're as good as your last race, so we have 2 more chances to go out there and compete.
There we go. That is Daniel Suarez down here, and we're going to see how he does here today, how he does tomorrow, and then how he wraps up his tenure at Trackhouse Racing next week at Phoenix.
It's been a fruitful tenure at Trackhouse Racing for Daniel Suarez, and all Daniel's amigos. They're ready to go ahead and get to the next chapter as well as they continue to follow their favorite driver. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, it's your man tank again. I just talked to the taste buds. We're all worried about you, Tim.
What do you mean? I love eating veggies. The crunch, I've never felt better.
You sure?
I think so.
You're really sure?
Yeah, man. Seriously.
You're not doing this to me, Tim. You're doing this to us. Just rip open some jerky, all right? Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Practice and pole qualifying from Martinsville Speedway is brought to you on MRN by E3 Spark Plugs. Stuck in slow motion? Unleash the NASCAR fire inside your engine with E3 Spark Plugs. Forget pit stops, too. E3 gives you maximum fuel efficiency for more miles on the road and less time at the pump. E3 Spark Plugs. Power, speed, domination. Get yours today.
And the practice part of that session is complete. Qualifying is coming up next here at the Martinsville Speedway. Group 1 cars are all but lined up and ready to go. 19 strong, 37 cars with us here looking to qualify for the Xfinity 500 coming up shortly. Justin Haley will be the first of them as we go down to the infield and hear from Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell down here ready to qualify. Michael, I was listening to a press conference with Ryan Blaney, and I want to ask you about something. He said the difference between running a practice session here and then going out and qualifying, he said here in Darlington is most dramatic. Is that the case, and what is so dramatic about going out there and doing a long run and not busting off a quick one?
Well, yes, it is very different, like you said. Difference being Darlington scares the snot out of you. Martinsville's so difficult to get a good lap and hit it right, and the times are so close that you feel the nerves from that. You got to go pick up time. But yeah, it's just the track changes so much as it takes rubber, peels the rubber up, takes rubber, peels the rubber up. And going out right now, the lights are on here at Martinsville, so we're qualifying almost in the dark here, so the track's going to change a lot.
How's your race car?
It's really good. Really happy with the Women in Motorsports North America Chevy. Good long run, decent short run, but really good long run, so looking forward to it.
Michael McDowell, looking forward to it. Getting ready to make the qualifying run here in just a little bit.
It was a fast race car in practice on a longer run in Group Number 1 practice session as qualifying is underway. Justin Haley, also out of the Spire Motorsports stables. He's our first driver on the racetrack.
The Nation's Guard Chevrolet comes off of the corner to receive the checkered flag to complete his 2 laps, and the bar set at 19.67 seconds, 96.268 miles per hour. The quick lap for Justin Haley, the first of 37 cars to take time here this afternoon.
So as Haley now will make his way to pit road, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. brings the Jack Lynch Chevrolet on the racetrack. That's proudly and boldly and prominently placed non-vegan down the side of his Chevrolet. As a matter of fact, on the bumper,
like
the
right
nose of
left
that
side.
car,
I'm
when a
not gonna
driver
taste
looks
it,
in the...
But it is really, really gummy. Just look how pliable it is. And this is what the crews are doing during the break here, pulling all this from out from under the wheel wells and around and scraping it off the tires. This is the marbles that we talk about.
I was going to tell him, before he said he wasn't going to taste it, I was going to say, well, just see which side, if it tastes like a left.
We'll see if Stenhouse can do the same thing, but Steve, seeing a rubber chunk like that, in my mind, immediately makes me think, how's that going to affect the second groove of racing? And two, all the fires that we've seen, all the rubber stacking up inside the car.
That's my one concern. I mean, I like that you're seeing this right here.
Excellent job, Dave.
that might be what I might be Dave Burns for Halloween.
Can anyone say
that's what I've decided? Right
anyone say licorice? Licorice, it looks like.
So, to your point, I think it'll be good for the racing. A dirty second groove is fine. I hope it doesn't affect anybody negatively, like we saw at Bristol with a couple of those fires. Because, man, when you start to get all that rubber piled up in there, we've seen it kind of turn bad at times.
Bill Gregson had a pretty good overall lap average in practice. See what he can do here in qualifying.
You see the left front tire almost stopped turning on corner entry. Right on the bottom of the racetrack, right against the curb. Let's see if he can pick up a little speed on his second lap.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think the track record has a chance today.
How far are we off from that, Steve?
Well, the next gen track record is a 1958, and we're already at a 62. So we're going to smash that record, I believe.
Third overall for Noah Gragson. A lot of talk about Ryan Blaney. Can he get his third straight fall Martinsville win? He's with Mamba.
We got the winner of last year's fall race here at Martinsville, Ryan Blaney. Ryan, I saw you talking to the Buckeye Bullet. Your dad, did he have any good notes for you after that practice run?
A little bit. Most of it was just like, I don't know. I couldn't see much. But no, I love having Dad here. I go tell him to stand in a corner or two, see what he sees, and I like talking about it afterwards. So, yeah, he's always got some good pointers. So it's Buckeye Bullet for a reason.
That's right. That's right. So when you look at your car, you feel like you had something decent. I know we talked about it a little earlier, a little loose.
Yeah, new left side tire. I feel like left rear conservation is going to be a really big deal tomorrow. I know a lot of guys were kind of killing left rear tires and things like that, and that's good though. I mean, fall off and things like that. So see how that is tomorrow. But yeah, I feel like I'm decent speed-wise. I feel like we can really work on the car in a good direction to get better and be a little bit more in the game. But yeah, discount tire Ford Mustang has some decent pace. Hopefully we can throw down a good qualifying run and see where we go from there.
Jeff, you got to get the help from every angle that you can, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And what's fun about the Blaneys is that, you know, Ryan really respects his dad, and he likes this. He likes him to have this conversation. Dave, come down and, hey, here's what I'm seeing. And look, they both know that they got all these engineers, they have all these tools, but just having a face-to-face conversation about what your dad is seeing and how much he's been around. They both enjoy that opportunity.
Well, you two, both dads, are going to be watching your sons in the Xfinity race later. So, Jeff, did you give Harrison some pointers? Because he's on the pole for the race.
Well, if he's on the pole, he didn't listen to me.
Called Mom.
Yeah.
Can you give some advice to my son then, Jeff?
I didn't give my son advice. So,
so none to my son. Okay.
Apparently I shouldn't.
I get it. While we're on the happy birthday cake, happy birthday, Dave Blaney. His birthday was yesterday. Riley Herbst goes to the top with a nice lap at 19:52. I found it interesting what Ryan was saying about his dad, Dave. He said he asked him to go stand in the corner. We saw Chase Briscoe standing in a corner, Jeff. So what is the magic of, what do you learn standing in the corner about how a race car is handling, good or bad?
You can see, like, you can really see what your car is, if he's looking at his son's car, what his son can do with his car versus what others can do with theirs, right? Where does it look like they're getting beaten, right? They have all this data and all this information. However, just, you know, having a conversation with your dad, right, about what he's seeing is just really good information.
Like you did for years and years and years growing up before we had all these engineers.
Yes,
Sometimes you just need somebody to look at you in the face and be like, why are you doing this? Or is your car doing this? Or so-and-so's doing this? Like, technology's great, but it shouldn't replace the other options.
Yeah, I've heard Dave tell Ryan, hey, the Penske cars do this going into the corner. Why is that? And he'll go, I don't know. Let me go ask the engineers why our cars do that. So
every time my father come to the race, he would call like he sees it. He was here one day, and he saw me after practice. He told me he didn't have to see timing and scoring. He knew my car looked like junk. I better work on it. Oh, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Very encouraging.
Well, no, you know what it is? It's not about encouragement. He called it like he saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Unfortunately, we have millions of dollars of equipment in the trailer saying the same thing.
Yeah, 6 quickest for Cody Ware. Eric Jones out for his qualifying lap here at Martinsville. How would you sum things up, Jeff, for Legacy Motor Club as we close down the final 2 races of the year?
A very promising year. A lot of positives from this team. They brought a lot of speed to racetracks. I think now, second fastest on the first lap. I think now they can go back and try to broaden that out a little bit, right? If you try to fix everything overnight, you're not going to fix anything. Now they can go back and say, all right, here's our strengths and here's our weaknesses. Let's continue to build on our strengths and kind of fix those weaknesses as well to see if they can make the next step.
Eric Jones winds up going second quick. Dave has caught up with the most recent winner in the Cup Series and into the championship for
That is Chase Briscoe. Knows he's racing for the championship next week. What happened in practice 1? And are you in line for another pole here this season? What do you think?
I have no idea what to expect. We kind of struggled there a little bit with our Bass Pro Shops Tracker Toyota, but we've done that other times this year, and then we're still good in qualifying too. So, yeah, it'll be critical, just to have a good starting spot here tomorrow. Track positions really kind of turned into the name of the game here a little bit. So, yeah, confident James and the boys will get me tuned up. But, yeah, practice was certainly a little concerning. We weren't as great as I thought we would. So, yeah, we're sure we'll be better, though, here.
Little to work on, but he is right. He's surprised us before in qualifying. We'll wait and see.
How about this lap?
Yeah, to the top for Austin Cindric.
I want to see where
on lap 1.
So the next gen track record, as I mentioned, was in 1958. We've run like the 18.9s. That corner entry got away from the 18.9s. Isn't that right, Russell? 18.9 something is as fast as we've gone here ever.
Yeah, a little bit slower on lap 2 for Austin Cindric. Most everybody else is picking up on lap 2, Jeff.
But a positive lap, I would say. To me, it looked like they really struggled in practice. So they were able to put something together to lay a very, very respectable lap time down. I think that helps the two Penske's. This car, the 21, and Josh Berry, Wood Brothers car, Wood Brothers from right down the road is Stewart. I thought they had potential race winning pace. Let's see what they can do in their qualifying run.
Remember how strong they were here in the spring. They had a battery issue, Jeff, and Team Penske literally ran out of batteries. They had so many battery issues. The 2, the 21, all had battery issues in the spring race. Certainly hope that doesn't happen to them tomorrow afternoon.
He's just not as fast as Cindric.
No, he's not. And I was just saying the electrical is just one more challenge here, right? Low, a lot of amperage draw, low RPM in the middle of the corner, and you said it, just a big gap from here to Cindric.
Heard the downshift, that pop, that was him downshifting the car. They won't be happy with that run.
No.
Slightly better on lap 2 for Josh Berry, but not near his teammate Austin Cindric.
I say they won't be happy. Like, we're a little, we don't really know as the track continues to cool down with this new tire. We really don't know if it's good to go out early or to go out late. So
I'm going to bet on late until someone tells me different. But I do agree with you that there is a question if the track actually loses grip, right? Does it actually get to the point where it's slimy?
Chris Buescher, the highest driver in points, not in the playoffs. Looking to score another solid finish here this weekend in Martinsville. I like those chrome numbers.
Yeah. I tell you, Chris Buescher to me is just kind of gets overlooked. He's a very talented race car driver and fast on every kind of racetrack. Does a really good job, and I think this team can also, RFK can also continue to build on what they did this year. They did not, didn't really have the year they wanted all the way around, but a lot of promise. I think this offseason could be really good for this team.
5th fastest for Chris Buescher. Back with more qualifying from Martinsville here on True TV.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like life was moving on without me. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover COMPLETA. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, COMPLETA is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. COMPLETA is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Call your doctor about new or sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks. Report fever, confusion, stiff muscles, which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High cholesterol and weight gain may occur, as can high blood sugar, which may be fatal. Common side effects are sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
Ask your doctor how COMPLETA can help you let in the light. Find savings at COMPLETA.
Ten cars in. Right now it's Austin Cindric pacing the field with a fast time of 19.393 seconds.
And it's Riley Herbst, Josh Berry. Eric Jones goes fourth at the moment. Chris Buescher is fifth. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is sixth. A.J. Allmendinger seventh. Eighth is Justin Haley. Noah Gregson is ninth, and Cody Ware rounds out the 10 cars who have taken time so far.
Let's go to pit road and Chris Wilner.
Denny Hamlin sitting here getting ready to qualify a little bit later in group number 2. Denny, real quick, you're a 6-time winner. This place has been good to you, but how good does it feel to be here this weekend in a much better position than what you've usually been in this fall race?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be pretty enjoyable, and obviously love coming to this racetrack. Love the technique it takes to get around here, and yeah, going to have a fun weekend.
I think Todd Gordon pointed out you looked really strong in practice. What did you like about your race car?
Yeah, it did a lot of really, did all the things I needed it to do, truthfully. It's so much more about feel for me here at this track over time. But yeah, it had the feelings that it needed to, which is got to fine tune a little bit of stuff to it, but I think we can get there.
And as a teammate to a driver with Christopher Bell trying to get in, how much have you been debriefing with him, and how much has he leaned on you here this weekend?
Well, obviously, it's a track I'm strong at, so he's really, his style has changed over time due to the success that we've had, and the ability for him to kind of look at all the things that I do, and obviously listening to comments I make pre and post race. So I think he'll be in good shape.
Thanks, Denny. Denny Hamlin getting ready to qualify again, a 6-time winner, offering a lot of advice and using his expertise here for his teammate Christopher Bell this weekend.
He says so much of this racetrack and being fast here and being good here is about the feel of getting around this and the technique it takes. Dive a little deeper in that, because I've watched Denny Hamlin race since he was a kid, calling a lot of his younger day races in Virginia and eastern North Carolina, and he was so much better than everybody else from what I saw, rolling out of the throttle and backing up turns and getting back on the accelerator much better than everybody else. But at Martinsville Speedway, what types of techniques and feel is the successful type?
Well, when you look at this place, and I feel like once a driver figures this place out, they know what to look for and to target in the balance that they feel in the race car. It's a half-mile racetrack. We're going to average, the pole will be under 100 miles an hour. Aerodynamics doesn't really play here. You're just trying to figure out how to get that rhythm that you need to get around here. And there's a lot to it. Very big braking events at the end of these long straightaways. You talk about it being a paperclip shape. It's one of those situations where you've got a very at-limit braking event. You've got to roll the center. You've got to get yourself in a position to point off. Denny knows what he needs to be able to pass cars, to make lap time. And finding those balances and that security in the race car where he needs it in different places, that's something you can come back time after time and get that feel back.
Casey Mears has qualified, currently 12th of the 12 drivers, 19.18 seconds. Alex Bowman just crossed the checkered flag, is up to the second spot, 97.4 miles per hour, 19.437 seconds. Let's hear from one of his teammates now, Kyle Larson on the pit lane with Steve Post.
Kyle Larson, 6 straight finishes of top 6 in a row here at Martinsville, including a win a couple of years ago. So how does this car compare to what you've had here recently?
I don't know. It was kind of an odd practice. I felt, I think I abused it the first run, and then the second run I felt really weird, and then the third run I felt more normal. So, yeah, I don't know. Just got to kind of look through it all here after qualifying and see. But, yeah, I don't know. Try to qualify well here and maintain track position.
You mentioned abuse it. Is that the tire situation, or what do you think you did to potentially hurt the early run on that practice session?
Yeah, I think just pushing too hard, like before the tires were kind of ready for it. So I think some of the fast guys kind of like let it build into a happier place. So I think I was just hard on the right front, which in turn makes you hard on the right rear, and yeah, not the right way to go about it.
We'll see what happens with it. That's Kyle Larson, not happy with the early run, but he did say one thing in there in the middle of it. He felt really good on that third run of the car, and long run is so critical here at Martinsville. Kyle Larson, a former winner here, going to go out and qualify here in just a little bit.
Will be the 32nd car to take time, as we are currently 14 cars deep into this session. Austin Dillon on the racetrack just a moment ago, up to the third spot after lap number 1, 19.47 seconds for Austin. He is in turn number 4. Let's see if he can improve on lap number 2 as he'll take the checkered flag here at the start-finish line. And Austin Dillon will remain in position number 3, 19.455 seconds, the fastest of his laps. That'll put him third on the leaderboard. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Fourteen of 37 drivers have taken time here at the Martinsville Speedway. Pole qualifying for tomorrow's Xfinity 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. Kyle Rickey, Alex Hayden, Todd Gordon. High above the start-finish line in the MRN broadcast booth, Chris Wilner and Steve Post down on the pit lane. Austin Cindric right now the fastest among the 15 drivers to take time. Kyle Busch on the racetrack, though, will change that. He goes to the pole after lap number 1, 19.352 seconds for Kyle. We'll see if he can pick it up this time as he wraps the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the win for Kyle Busch. Lap number 2 slows down just a bit, but still that first lap will earn him the top spot right now. 15 cars into this session, 19.35 seconds for Kyle.
That was a heater of a first lap for Kyle Busch. Had everybody's attention the way he was able to get through turns 1 and 2, and more importantly, get off the second corner for that rocket down the back straightaway. Next driver on the racetrack is Michael McDowell as the green flag goes in the air. McDowell out of Glendale, Arizona, begins his qualifying effort as we go back to Chris Wilner.
Christopher Bell, the 2022 winner here, watching qualifying at Martinsville Speedway. All right, Christopher, what'd you learn in practice, and how is the car here for qualifying?
We learned it's a little bit different this time around, for sure. The tire change seems to be a pretty big deal. Yeah, qualifying, the pace is up. It's really, really fast right now. I think this might be the fastest we've had since next gen, so gonna be fun, that's for sure.
Talk to Denny, your teammate who's been really good here in the past as well. How much have you fed off him and just this whole organization as a whole to ensure you have the best shot on Sunday?
Yeah, Denny's one of the best around this racetrack, so certainly trying to learn all we can from him, what he had in the spring, and trying to apply that to our car. So yeah, I'm excited about this qualifying lap.
All right, Christopher Bell going to get plugged back in. We'll see him toward the end of group number 2 in qualifying.
Michael McDowell now third on the leaderboard. Kyle Busch was the best, and it's Austin Cindric so far, and Michael McDowell third. Alex Bowman is fourth, and Austin Dillon rounds out the top 5 as John Hunter Nemechek takes the green flag.
He'll take the green flag, begin his 2 laps. You gave the top 5. Riley Herbst is 6th, Ty Dillon 7th, Eric Jones 8th, Josh Berry 9th, Chris Buescher in 10th. Wondering where the playoff drivers are? They will be the last 8 drivers to take time in this session. There are 37 cars here. 17 have taken time. John Hunter Nemechek completes lap number 1 and is only 16th fastest right now for John Hunter. 96.02 miles per hour, 19.72 seconds. Lap number 1 for John Hunter as he enters turn number 3, and we'll see the checkered flag this time by for that Legacy Motor Club team. Checkered is up for John Hunter Nemechek and will jump up to the 6th position, 19.511 seconds, 97.053 miles per hour, the lap of record for John Hunter Nemechek.
Since we've been in this Gen 7 race car, I've always marveled at these drivers and what they have to do behind the wheel of the race car, turning laps at Martinsville Speedway. Tightest, smallest racetrack we run on. Throw in the fact that you're racing around competition, whether they're lap cars or dealing at the front of the field or in the middle of the field, but yet you're having to change gears. They run 4th gear on the straightaways, they downshift to 3rd in the corners, up and down every single lap. So much that these drivers have to do. Back to pit lane. Let's hear from one of those drivers.
William Byron, a 2-time winner here at Martinsville Speedway as he's making his way to his car. So, William, we watched some practice. It looked really good. I think you were a little fastest on one of the longer runs. How did the car feel?
Yeah, it felt good. It was doing a lot of good things. Just seemed like a couple guys were just a little bit faster than us. So hopefully we can find that speed here in qualifying.
He's getting ready to qualify, as a matter of fact, getting the earpieces in and getting ready to climb aboard the Chevy. It is a beautiful red, white, and blue Chevy Cincinnati. They do lasers, press brakes, and shears, and all kinds of neat things here. Good partner of Hendrick Motorsports. He's got a good-looking race car and looked good on the long run during our practice earlier today.
Daniel Suarez just wrapping up his qualifying effort, currently 12th of the 18 drivers that have taken time, with a fast lap of 19.56 seconds, equating to 96.8 miles per hour, as Ryan Preece takes the green flag and will become the 19th driver to take time. Preece, the exit turn number 2, the former NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion. We thank him in joining us for our broadcast of the Modified Tour Championship race on Thursday night to open up the race weekend. Celebrating his birthday today, takes the white flag and will complete lap number 1 for Ryan.
Lap 1 puts him 13th on the leaderboard out of the 19 drivers that have taken a lap. You do get 2 here if you would like to have a second lap. You can do that here on the short tracks this year in pole qualifying. Here's Ryan Preece exiting turn number 4. Back to the checkered flag he'll go, trying to improve a bit, and he does so. He'll leapfrog up to the number 5 position.
With a time of 19.38 seconds, 97.4 miles per hour for Ryan Preece, but it is Kyle Busch leading the way, 19 cars into this qualifying session. About halfway through, it's Busch, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell,
what
Alex
a jump for him from 13th to 5th on that second lap. Nice qualifying effort for the RFK machine. Beautiful fall evening here at Martin.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Zane Smith will be the next car to take time when qualifying resumes here in just a moment. Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain, and Shane Van Gisbergen all forthcoming, along with all of our playoff drivers still to qualify for tomorrow's Xfinity 500.
Back downstairs to pit road, Steve Post.
Boy, it is a cleaned up Tyler Reddick. Got the haircut, got all the facial hair gone and everything. New look for Tyler Reddick. New look, but how'd the race car feel out there on this old racetrack?
Yeah, the Chumba Casino Camry was really good, and had some fun last night. Handed my son Bo the clippers, and he had some fun with my hair.
So Bo was the one that did it. It's Bo's fault, huh?
I wouldn't say it's his fault. It was just something to do at home. Rookie finally came home on Thursday, and it brought me a lot of joy to see how happy it made my son Bo. Then see Rookie laugh, and all my hair was disappearing was pretty great too.
That's way more important than all of this, but good luck here on this qualifying lap.
Thank you.
There we go, Tyler Reddick. And, his son, Rookie, has had a really, really rough stint of medical problems, been in the emergency room, the NIC unit, the emergency care unit, and it's been a long ride for Tyler Reddick. And I am sure to see Bo laugh and Tyler laugh and everybody in the family laugh was really, really good last night. And maybe he can continue with the good news with a good qualifying run here today.
A good qualifying run for Tyler Reddick. This is the only track where he does not have a top 5 finish for Tyler. So wanting to get off to a good start here in pole qualifying. He'll qualify here in just a couple of moments. Zane Smith on the racetrack right now. And he'll be the next driver to take time for Zane.
14th on his first lap for Zane Smith in the yellow, blue, and white Long John Silver's Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Lap number 2, Zane Smith will jump up into the top 10, albeit the back half of the top 10. He'll go to 7th.
Last time, 19.505 seconds for Zane Smith as he'll head back to the pit lane. Cole Custer will come out onto the racetrack here in just a moment. He'll come to the speed on the back straightaway. Cole will be in the Motor Racing Network broadcast booth later tonight for our coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here in Martinsville.
So, Chris Wilner, let's talk about it. The pressure that these drivers are under, the playoff drivers, you got to get a good qualifying effort to pick a good pit box here at this tight little pit lane at Martinsville Speedway. Can you sense the pressure down there with the playoff drivers?
Yeah, I think so, Alex, just a little bit, especially in talking to some of the ones that need a win, like Chase Elliott. They're pretty tense down here. Whether practice went well or not, and for Chase, I think he was one of the best cars in practice. You can definitely sense a bit of nerves, maybe not necessarily nerves, but anxiousness to get on the racetrack and see where you line up on Sunday, because as we talked about all session long, qualifying here is so important when it comes to race day tomorrow and all the different variables that happen, but I think there is definitely a sense of urgency and a little bit of anxiousness amongst all the playoff drivers, and you know this is a big qualifying session, so as we get deeper into this qualifying format and we get to these playoff drivers, that's really when this intensity is going to heat up, where we really start to see where things shake out for tomorrow.
The deeper we get, the quicker they seem to go. Cole Custer, the latest on the racetrack, goes to the top of the leaderboard, 19.348 seconds, 97.87 miles per hour. Cole Custer, the new leader here in pole qualifying, knocking Kyle Busch back to second, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, Alex Bowman the top 5, with Brad Keselowski now on the racetrack.
Just took the green flag, and he's already into turn number 3 on his first of 2 qualifying laps. When you get around this track in 19.5 seconds, things happen in a hurry. Back downstairs, Steve Post.
Down here, we talked to Chase Briscoe before the practice session. Now let's follow up with him after the practice session. What'd you learn about your car in that practice session, Chase?
It turned really good. It just turned too good. I was so loose. Yeah, I don't know. We're just off there in practice for whatever reason.
Riding along with Brad. This is a great shot. Way off on this first lap. See the downshift. This is a much better lap, Steve.
Yeah, you wonder, it's so much improved that Brad didn't just accept it was going to be lap 2. Sounded like a little bit of a rev chip there on the backstretch.
Well, that sounded odd, didn't it?
It did. I couldn't tell if it was the chip on top of a downshift, but it definitely had some odd sound to it. 7th for Brad.
Yeah, big jump on lap 2 there.
Yeah.
That's Ryan Blaney messing with Tony Marshall's camera, T-Bone, as we affectionately know him. That's a robo camera inside turn 1 that Sean Owens, our director, has put down there for the fantastic shots you'll see tomorrow. Look at that view.
Yeah, they were really courageous to put that robotic camera where all these drivers could get to it. If that thing's still working by the end of qualifying, it'll be a miracle.
But it gives you that shot, Steve.
Oh, no, it'd be good for tomorrow when they're not out there standing. But right now, it'll be unhooking, adjusting.
Let's see what this does, right? Ross Chastain. Lap 1 for Chastain. Certainly in the ball game if he can have a pickup here. 5th fastest overall.
I tell you what, he's asking everything out of that race car. When he gets done, he won't be that he underdrove it.
Oh, man. Oh, way wide there in turn 4. Almost coming to a stop.
A little bit too much effort.
Yeah.
That's Ross Chastain, though. He's going to give it everything he has.
Take 5th fastest on that first lap, Jeff.
Yeah, for sure. And you can just see, didn't have the grip he was hoping for. Just asking a little more out of the race car.
You kind of called it going into that corner.
Yeah, you can just see how hard he was pushing it. And that's who he is, right? That's how it's got him to this spot in his career, is he's always just gotten 100% out of his race car. Every opportunity he's ever had.
Oh, boy.
Was that on... surely it was not on purpose, was it? Was it a tire warm-up, was it?
I think the track's cooling. So, I do think you just hope the tires come in a little quick. I think he asked a little too much of the rear tires coming up to speed. It's definitely hurt his up-to-speed lap. Nice. So far, only a 10th off. Let's see how this 88 looks this time through. Man, that thing changes direction in a hurry.
The key right here for me for SVG is to run similar pace as your teammates, right? Your teammate just went in front of you. So the track conditions are almost the same. So go lay down a lap time similar to the 1 car.
Hey, what, he's going to beat the 1 car at this pace if he can hang on to it. Lost a little bit there in 4.
SVG got the Marty curse. He's going to be a little bit behind Chastain.
Thanks, Stevie.
Well, I mean, you said he was going to be
headed
in the
that
back
way.
of the car, stepped out, like
Headed
instant,
that
like
way.
you went out there and pushed it.
I did not mean to do that to SVG. Finished 12th here at Martinsville last fall. Nice little short track run for him. SVG's dad's back in the U.S., by the way. You know, he took the trophy home from Watkins Glen. Like, what do you put that in the overhead? Like, how does that work?
I love that.
I don't know how that works. How do you get a trophy from Watkins Glen to New Zealand?
Never had that problem.
I know, yeah. It's a good problem to have, isn't it? Carson Hocevar out for his qualifying lap here at Martinsville.
Oh, he's got a chance. Just didn't quite roll the center and move the exit like he needed to.
You mentioned it, Jeff. These young drivers, he finished 6th at Talladega, kind of gave him this better qualifying position for Martinsville today.
Yeah, it's such a help going later.
See if lap 2 improves Hocevar. It does not, so he is 6th so far.
Spire Motorsports, McDowell in 4th. Hocevar in 6th right now.
Todd Gilliland with the John Force burnout and leaving pit road.
This driver and Cole Custer, I think this late qualifying draw, this is their opportunity, right? And you know it. Like, you know this is what you've needed. You know going out early every week has hurt your qualifying, but today is a chance to execute on it. Pretty good 1 and 2 there.
Trying to cash in on that 2nd place finish at Talladega last week with this late qualifying run. Lap 1 puts him 7th. See if he can better it here in lap 2.
He's got a chance. That was a better 1 and 2. Just a little, I mean a touch slow back to the gas. And ran the exact same time.
Yes, he did.
So his average qualifying position this year is about 25th, right? So he's 7th right now. Still a lot of good cars to go, but he is going to start better tomorrow than he does on average. And a lot of that, not to take away from the lap he had or the lap that Custer had, because they were good laps, but a lot of that was the ability to go later. It's just it's turned into such an advantage, and it's a hard hole to dig out of when you get back in points and you aren't having good finishes.
Steve, I want to thank Ty Gibbs. You know why? Look at that clear visor. That is so cool to see a driver's eyes like we get this chance right here with Ty Gibbs.
I'm not sure he's blinked yet. Oh, there's one. There's the first blink of the lap.
Look at him looking down further, kind of trying to see where he's going into the corner.
P3 the first lap. Look how quickly it happens here. Oh, it's going the right way.
Yeah, if he can just get right to the curb here. Stay right on that curb, he's got a chance. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, Cole Custer watching on, but Ty Gibbs is going to knock him off. Fastest for Ty Gibbs,
right now. Good job.
19:28.
So last night in qualifying, I thought that 1 and 2 was kind of the magic for the trucks. Here in the Cup, it seems like 3 and 4. It seems like more guys are having a hard time running the curb in 3 and 4. So when Ty got down to it, it really kind of, you saw it chase the lap time down. We'll see if it holds up and how long if it holds up, because Reddick wouldn't shock me if he throws a lap up right here.
Well, I don't know. Tyler Reddick's a little bit lighter, Steve. You see, he let his kids cut his hair. And shave it all off. He had the mullet going for the playoffs. Said it was bad luck, needed to be shaved off, and let the kids have the electric razor.
Well, let's see what kind of lap time the kids can take for credit.
Yeah, see if they helped out Dad on this qualifying lap here. 14th.
Lap 1, they should have went to a closer attachment.
Well, here we go. Lap 2, though. Gonna be better.
Oh, easy, Marty.
Up. No.
Soon.
Yes, 7th quick for Tyler Reddick. Here's the haircut. Good job, kids. Very nice. Way to go, Bo. Yeah, and Bo didn't hold anything back, did he?
No.
Look at that, Jeff.
Same guy I used to get my haircut.
Yeah, really. We don't need to hire a Bo. I think Alexa had to jump in there and help out a little bit. But Reddick, the hair certainly shorter Helping him out, the mullet gone for Reddick. Fresh dew here for Martinsville this weekend. He's 7th fastest so far. Qualifying continues here on True TV.
There's something important I need to tell you. I should have said this a long time ago. Is now the right time, Dad? You're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. I can't.
Don't forget, coming up later on tonight, it's the IAA Ritchie Brothers 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Motor Racing Network airtime, 7 o'clock Eastern, as Cole Custer will join us on the broadcast later on tonight, who currently sits second in pole qualifying right now. And then tomorrow, it's the Xfinity 500 for the NASCAR Cup Series. Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live Race Day to get the table set for you. That is at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
Let's tell you where your favorite driver has qualified thus far. 28 strong, 9 to go. Ty Gibbs, current pace setter over Cole Custer. Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, the top 5. Then it's Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Carson Hocevar, Todd Gilliland, and Alex Bowman currently in the top 10.
You got Ryan Preece currently 11th. Brad Keselowski is 12th, and Austin Dillon 13th. Shane Van Gisbergen goes 14th, and Zane Smith is 15th. 16th, John Hunter Nemechek. Riley Herbst currently 17th. Ty Dillon is 18th. Josh Berry 19th, and Eric Jones is 20th.
Then it's going to be Chris Buescher next in line in 21st, Daniel Suarez 22nd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 23rd, A.J. Allmendinger 24th, Justin Haley 25th, Noah Gragson 26th, Cody Ware 27th, and Casey Mears in 28th of the qualifiers thus far, as the next car is on the racetrack as they come off of turn number 4. Green flag is up for Bubba Wallace.
So Bubba Wallace in his purple and white Xfinity Toyota makes its way off turn number 2. First lap on going for Bubba Wallace. He'll stab the brakes in turn 3, downshift to third gear. His car moves up off the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see if Bubba can try to regain that lost time that was just happening in turns 3 and 4.
Lap number 1 in the books for Bubba, 14th fastest, 19.459 seconds. Lap number 1 for the Xfinity Mobile Toyota, the 2311 Racing Camp. Into turn number 4, so we'll see the checkered flag this time and see if he can move his way into the top 10 for Bubba Wallace. Checkered flag is out, and he will stay in the 14th position. Fastest lap of the 2 at a 19.459 second lap.
So Bubba Wallace will not make the top 10. It's only one round of qualifying, and Chase Elliott brings his bright red Chevrolet on the racetrack. Got Lumar on board his race car this weekend. Chase Elliott, pretty good race car in practice today on the longer run, but it's all about raw speed and 2 laps now to figure out where he will start. He's our first playoff driver to take time. Chase Elliott on the racetrack.
8 drivers that have had a lot of success here at the Martinsville Speedway over the years. All but one have a win. That one, of course, is Chase Briscoe, last week's Talladega winner. White flag for Chase Elliott. His first lap complete, up to 4th on the leaderboard, 19.353 seconds. Lap number 1 for Chase Elliott. See if he can pick it up on lap number 2 as he wraps the bottom of the racetrack into 3. Off of 4, checkered flag is out for Chase Elliott. Will there be an improvement? There will not. 19.353, lap number 1, quickest of the 2 for Chase. 19.362, lap number 2, and remains 4th.
So not a bad effort for Chase Elliott as the next playoff driver pulls onto the racetrack out of the same shop from Hendrick Motorsports. William Byron now in his red, white, and blue Cincinnati Chevrolet. Takes the green flag. Let's see what kind of pace William Byron will have here.
2-time winner here at the Martinsville Speedway for William Byron as he exits turn number 2 and races up the back straightaway. He's the 31st driver to take time as Byron comes off of turn number 4. We'll see the white flag will complete lap number 1 for William and is 13th fastest after his first lap, 19.450 seconds around the racetrack, 97.3 miles per hour, the average speed for William. Off of turn 4 he comes. Checkered flag is out, looking for an improvement for William Byron, and he goes to the top. New provisional pole sitter, 19.286 seconds. An average speed of 98.185 miles per hour.
So great lap,
good
second lap for William Byron. Puts him at the top of the leaderboard. Another Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet now. Kyle Larson, he's on the racetrack. His red, white, and blue HendrickCars.com Chevy. Green flag goes in the air off the right hand of Joey Aycock. And Kyle Larson is on it.
Also a former winner here at the Martinsville Speedway to the exit of turn 2 and up the back straightaway for Kyle Larson.
He's not even going to have time to get his helmet off by the time the rest of these cars have run. He won't get to see the other laps.
It wasn't even lap 2, Jeff. It was the second half of lap 2 where he got all that time.
Yeah, it shows you how some cars, tire pressure is set up, all that stuff can be different between one car and another.
Oh, yeah, that looks really good. That looks uneventful.
You can barely hear the hit the chip, the rev limiter.
Went right on the curb for Larson.
All right, let's see if he can pick up as much as his teammate did.
6 on lap 1. Cliff Daniels watching on green for Larson.
I thought it looked better.
Oh, that thing cut through the middle of the corner so good, but he just couldn't get the power down like he needed.
Yeah, I felt like early in the corner it didn't rotate like super early in the corner. A little bit later it did, but
you needed it to do that cut that I saw earlier.
Yes, just a little earlier.
Also shows you how good Byron was at the end of that second lap, Steve, because you could see where Larson was losing that time compared to his teammate.
Yeah, it's a great point, right? Byron's probably the most impressive part of Byron's lap was the second half.
And clearly, William Byron wants to sit on the pole, but he has done what he needed to do to put himself in position to win this race, right? Regardless of where he ends up.
Pit stall, still a huge advantage here. Pit stall 1, while it's not as close to the timing line as it once was, it's just out of the fray. It's so much easier to pit over there. It takes a lot of pressure off your pit crew.
This car in this lap, the first lap, did not look good at all. 28th. Had to use a lot of racetrack.
Better on lap 2, but still nowhere close to the 24.
Really had to slow the car down a lot to keep it on the bottom of the racetrack. Nowhere near what they were hoping for.
Wow, 27th for Ryan Blaney. I did not see that coming into today, Jeff.
The first lap, he sent it in there like it was going to grip, and then he recognized on the second that it wasn't going to, so he just had to slow the car down to keep it on the bottom of the racetrack, and with that, all the speed just came right out of it.
Wow, interesting turn of events there for Ryan Blaney. Many people thought he would be the favorite coming into the race, and so far just 27th quick as Denny Hamlin needs a little bit of a push off pit road. That was interesting, Steve. We've seen everybody else kind of do a burnout. Hamlin getting pushed off pit road.
Yeah, it looks to me like either he had a gearbox issue or a starter issue. We'll have to see what the team has to say.
Look at his helmet shield, it's up. He doesn't have it down. A lot of drivers do that. I could never do that. I always thought someone was going to hit me in my eyes.
Why would they do that, Jeff?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think you see a lot of drivers not put it down. Certainly a visibility thing. All right, let's see if he can have a better second lap. A good first lap, but not great. 15th. I know they're looking for better than that. There it is.
Flash green for Hamlin for just a moment. What can he do in 3 and 4?
Oh, looked like he just didn't roll the center of 3 and 4 like he needed to. Car just didn't rotate.
4th for Denny Hamlin. I think as good as our car was on the long run, Steve, they'll take that for now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm interested to find out what the mechanical issue was, whether it's something they're going to have to address after qualifying or not.
Now, Logano's terrified right now. He just saw Blaney go out, and he knows he did not run a good lap. But he also knows Cindric is 8th.
Is that quick enough with just a car between, Jeff, to get any information to Joey Logano to help him on his lap?
It's not a lot. So far, they feel like this is a better lap than what Blaney was able to do.
Yeah, much more in the game, right?
Just a little messy. Like the car doesn't do a whole lot that you want it to do.
It just doesn't flow the corner as well.
No.
That's right, that was better.
Yeah, much better. Impressive second half of the lap for Logano. Flash green for a moment.
They got to feel good about this lap.
I agree.
Fourth fastest for Joey Logano.
And it was full hustle. Like I said, there was no, like the car just didn't flow is a good word, Marty. It just doesn't kind of enter, roll the middle, exit like you would want. You want everything connected.
And then there were two. Christopher Bell, the next one on the racetrack.
Really curious to see what this lap is. They were very, it's just hard to get a gauge of where they were in practice.
Pretty good on this qualifying lap, though. Bell has a tendency to be able to find a little extra speed in qualifying. See if he can do it here today.
Oh, I like that corner. Seems like it went through the middle really well in 3 and 4. That tells me this lap could be better. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Much better for Bell. Flash green at the turns 1 and 2 into the track. What's he do down here in 3 and 4? Losing a little bit of time, just 11th fastest for Bell after the first part of that lap looked really good. One more driver for William Byron to dodge, and it's only the man who's won the most poles this year in the NASCAR Cup Series, Chase Briscoe. He didn't feel great about his car in practice, Steve.
Yeah, I've learned none of that matters when it comes to qualifying for the 19. But he just every week there's just newfound speed on Saturday.
It was interesting talking to him about that. He said he finally just got to the point where it's like, I'm just going to drive it just as hard as I possibly can and see what happens. And that was when they kind of turned it around on qualifying.
They told James Small before the Coca-Cola 600, hey man, just let me drive the car as hard as I want to. And James said, all right, fine. Show me what you can do. And he won the pole for that race.
A bit of a passenger the first lap, meaning he was just waiting for the car to do what it needed to do. Much more responsive there in 1 and 2.
Look at William Byron looking at the data.
He is intently looking at the monitor. Briscoe off 3 and 4 for the final time. Not going to knock Byron off the pole, just 9th fastest. And William Byron will start the race tomorrow on the pole. Mamba Smith, you're with him.
Fist bumps for the whole team. Smiles all around. William Byron in a must-get-it-done situation. Your team unloads with the 24 and you grab the pole.
Yeah, it's great. It's not the race though, so we got a lot of work to do tomorrow. But yeah, it felt good in practice and felt decent there in qualifying. It felt like it's so cold. It took a while for the tires to kind of come in, but yeah, it feels nice. First pole at Martinsville is always good. We usually struggle to qualify well here, so yeah, just excited for tomorrow. It's a big challenge, and you know, that's what counts. After 500 laps, we'll see how we are.
It's going to be pretty cold tomorrow. You've been in these situations before, won here in those type of situations. How do you feel about this car? Do you think you have enough to get it done with this piece?
Yeah, it's going to be similar conditions to what it is right now. It's going to be really chilly, and the track's going to change a bunch. So we just got to do a good job communicating, talking through it, and making the right adjustments inside the car as well. So just excited for the day tomorrow.
24 group is excited to roll off tomorrow, Dave.
Mama checked in with Denny Hamlin really quick. He said it just would not fire. Chris Gale, the crew chief, then offer. We just got to check with TRD, find out what it is once they get into it. And but we just don't know right now. That obviously they had to push start to get it going.
Wouldn't fire, Steve. What's a concern level for Chris Gale?
Well, I mean, like you said, you have to get with TRD. Just hope it's something that they can repair overnight and that NASCAR will allow them to do that without going to the back. I know he's advanced through, so there's not a playoff thing. But this is a race that Denny Hamlin has circled that he could go win. So he doesn't want to give up track position.
Jeff William Byron picked a pretty good time for his first ever Martinsville pole in a must-win scenario tomorrow night.
For sure. A lot of playoff guys obviously up here, but Ty Gibbs continued to show good qualifying recently. Cole Custer sitting there in row 3.
Yeah, Austin Cindric, row 5, went out very early and found speed. Good for him. And then a bunch of drivers that aren't in the playoffs, but I think they're going to be part of the conversation. Ross Chastain, Carson Hocever, I think Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece, even Austin Dillon, short track guy. How will his success at Richmond transition here to Martinsville?
But, Jeff, the story of qualifying is Ryan Blaney. He will start 31st tomorrow trying to win his 3rd straight fall Martinsville race.
Well, they have a lot of work to do, obviously, but this is one of those racetracks where you're never out of it. You get the right caution at the right time. You can get your track position. Ryan Blaney is one of the very best at passing cars in this series. Also, when you think about when he has something go wrong, he drives through the field. So not the position they want to be in, but their day is not over by
The
now.
only positive, it's a must-win, right? So missing
Right.
out on stage points in stage 1 shouldn't hurt what they're trying to accomplish.
What a fun day it was here at Martinsville. We learned a lot with a brand new left side tire for the NASCAR Cup Series. The Championship 4 will be set tomorrow on NBC Sports.